So the Donald Trump House of Cards is absolutely collapsing today, as effectively this whole thing is built on greed, it's built on lies, and with Trump at the top, it's unsustainable. And so today, people are actually walking out. So let me show you what's going on. First, Trump administration live updates, okay? President is said to plan new class of battleships named for him, because of course he is. And in fact, we've heard about this stuff before, that Trump wants to build a, quote, golden fleet. I've heard about these things for a while, but today is the actual announcement. And they're going to call these like new things. We're going to build like a Trump class battleship, which is something we haven't done for a while, because effectively this is an old style of warfare. We just don't need battleships anymore. But according to Trump, he thinks the current fleet is ugly and he wants to build a beautiful fleet. And yes, that's kind of stupid stuff that he says, and he'll announce it soon. So while this is going on, his movement, the MAGA, the conservatives, the Republicans, however you want to call these people, they're all fighting each other. And they're splintering. So look at this. This is today. This is big news, actually. Heritage staffers walk out amid latest strife at conservative institutions. So these are the people behind Trump's policy, the Project 2025 stuff, right? And essentially, they're just like fighting over how racist do we want to be. Some of the people are like, yo, we need to include the Mustache Party, the Nick Fuentes, like those kind of people. And other people are like, whoa, I'm okay with, unequal society and racism, but not that kind of racism, right? So what they do then, now they're running over to Mike Pence. For real. This is actually the news. Top heritage officials flee to Mike Pence's nonprofit as think tank fractures. Conservative movement continues to splinter about how to deal with its most controversial voices, okay? So they're all fighting. And they were fighting in public at the Charlie Kirk AmFest Turning Point thing. And I want to show you this. This is actually an interesting one. This is Alex Stone. And let me read his description of him, how he described himself. He says, I'm the host of the Alex Stone Show, follower of Jesus, youth pastor for his glory, Christ is king, etc., right? And I just want to make this clear before we go through what he says. You may or may not know this, but I grew up in the church. I actually was going to be a youth pastor because I like to work with young people. I ended up being a professor instead because that was just more suitable for me, and I didn't want to work in the church, but I can understand if someone wants to be a youth pastor and help young people. So I'm all on board on that. And what's fascinating about this Alex dude is like basically he comes to the realization that the Trumpy stuff and this whole, MAGA stuff is basically no good. I'll leave it at that. And let me read his description of it. Listen, he says, after being at America Fest, and this is the whole Charlie Kirk stuff, I find myself to be quite sad. I am an optimist at heart, but to be honest, I am struggling with the state of our nation and the state of the Republican Party. Okay, so they're losing him. I want the best for our country, but that can never happen if we continue on this trajectory we are on right now, and that's the harsh truth. Now, I also want to make this clear, guys, like I take a different approach than many channels that you watch. I know a lot of left-wing channels out there like always talking about when you want to, burn everyone and they scream and yell and blah, blah, blah. Like they're just angry individuals and people like to watch angry stuff. There's a lot of people who find that entertaining. For me, I actually want to build bridges and I actually want to have empathy for other people because I think that is the path forward, not the path that Donald Trump wants to basically split up everyone. I think that's a very negative way to go. And it's interesting to see like someone like Alex here identify basically the Trump stuff and what's wrong with it. Now, listen a little bit more. He says the, quote, conservative movement has been quickly shifting in the wrong direction for a while now, you think, right? And it's deeply concerning and is deeply disturbing to me. To be honest, I am actually on the verge of tears of writing this, right? So he's going through kind of a midlife crisis, or we want to say it, realizing that Trump stuff is nonsense. I often refer to scriptures in everything that I do. I am a Christian. I'm a follower of Jesus. I want to do everything that I can to glorify Christ. Obviously, I am a human, and I often fall short, but thankfully, Christ has forgiven me. Really? Okay. So listen to the stuff that he has to say. I often see people say things like, quote, I will be a Republican until the day Jesus is no longer put first in the Republican Party. Okay. Well, it is clear to me that Jesus is not first in the Republican Party or the movements that are adjacent or similar to it. So he's starting to realize like, oh my God, we're like becoming Trumpers. Listen to stuff he says. We have traded Christ-likeness for unChrist-likeness. We have traded selflessness for selfishness. We have traded kindness for cruelty to each other. We have traded honesty for dishonesty toward each other. We have traded peace for violence toward each other. We have traded being compassionate for being uncompassionate to each other. We have traded being merciful to being unmerciful for each other. We have traded humility for pridefulness. We have traded love for hate. I mean, it's basically describing what's wrong with Trump and the MAGA people, right? This is not just for MAGA. It's American Firsters, Kirk, Owens, Fuentes, Carlson, right? This is for everyone. And he goes on to say, it starts with the self-introspection by saying, I repent. It starts by releasing your own hatred first, your own pride, right? Your own cruelty. And then he goes on to say, I repent. Father, forgive me. Our country needs Jesus. Jesus, please help us. Like, what the heck? And you know, I know some people are going to like make fun of Alex and stuff like that, but I'm coming from like just a frank perspective on this, guys. There's a lot of good out there that people of faith do, right? Be it food banks, be it in disaster relief, be it helping refugees. Like there's a lot of people out there that are really, really good. And it's sad because like Trump has co-opted much of the, you know, religious right movement, and effectively they're all, you know, now Home Shopping Network, TV evangelists, basically fake people, right? And it's sad to see, and he's like, I don't know Alex's heart. I don't know what's in his heart, but at least his words right here, I can appreciate that you're at least acknowledging that the way the Trump people are taking you and the way the conservative movement is not like Jesus at all. It's just like, but let's be frank about that, right? It's like, just, they're a bunch of selfish and greedy individuals at the moment, and at least he's pointing it out and saying like, yo, that's not for me, okay? And I applaud Alex. So I just want to make that clear on this stuff, because when I look at the news every day, it is completely whacked out. Look at this. This is in Bloomberg today. We're going on right now. Let me play it for you.
The U.S. is pursuing a third oil tanker near Venezuela as President Trump intensifies an oil blockade against Nicolas Maduro's government. Sources telling us here at Bloomberg that tanker is the Bella One, a Panamanian-flagged vessel sanctioned by the U.S. The attempted interdiction follows the boarding of the Century supertanker early Saturday and the skipper on December 10th.
And so what we're talking about, okay, the reason why I play this for you is because like I turned on the news and it was like, okay, great. So now we're a bunch of pirates effectively, and we're chasing down oil tankers. That's our news. And then when you put it together with, say, you know, Alex guy who's like saying, man, these Republicans aren't Christian anymore. Like, they're a bunch of greedy individuals, effectively. And then you got the heritage people walking out and be like, man, okay, I don't want to be that racist. I mean, people are really pushing back. And this is a map of how nuts it is right now in USA, of like the various oil tankers that we're going after. So the skipper, I guess, we commandeered the thing, we brought it back to Texas. Now we're taking the oil effectively. Then you got Century's one that's still at Venezuela, and now we're like sending the Coast Guard chasing the Bella one. And I think what they're figuring out what to do is like, should we fire on this thing or not? I mean, because they're saying they're in like pursuit of the thing. Like, isn't this nuts? This is absolutely crazy. And this is more of our news. Listen to this. This is about Kash Patel wanting armored BMWs of all things. Listen to this.
We are back with MS Now exclusive reporting. FBI Director Kash Patel's new vehicle is raising eyebrows in Washington. We're learning Patel had the FBI purchase a high-end, specially armored BMW to drive him around, and this is according to 4 sources familiar with the matter. Now, FBI directors are traditionally driven in a Chevrolet Suburban. Let's bring in MS Now senior investigative reporter Carol Leonnig, author of Injustice: How Politics and Fear Vanquished America's Justice Department. Carol, you and Ken broke this story just this morning. What more are you learning about all of this, and how is the administration justifying this purchase?
Well, Anna, thank you so much for focusing on it. It's been kind of gobsmacking for FBI officials, both former and current, as they have described to us this purchase of a small fleet of armored BMWs. You know, armored BMWs have traditionally been used in really unusual places, green zones, like actual areas where war is close by in the front line, usually internationally. There is no precedent for an FBI director to have an armored BMW, much less a fleet of them. The government, typically, the FBI provides directors a fleet of Chevy Suburbans to get him safely from place to place with a detail and a driver. But in this case, Kash Patel ordered the purchase of 4 BMWs.
All right, so I guess Chryslers aren't good enough for him. He needs the armored BMWs. But like this whole Patel thing, this massive corruption, this shows you where we're at. And I actually had to look this one up because I didn't know this was a thing. It's the I think it's the BMW X5 protection VR6, exactly the security you need. This is from BMW. And you scroll down and it describes the armor, and I'll just read it because it's absolutely bonkers. The security glazing in the BMW X5 Protection VR6 is made of a security glass laminate, okay? The polycarbonate coating on the inside prevents spalling. It offers protection not just against attacks with blunt instruments and handguns, but also against the world's most widely used firearm, the AK-47. I had to read that for you because it's like, I don't know. I mean, but Patel's, I guess he's imagining a road warrior kind of future. Maybe, it's not just going to be chainsaws and axes. Now we have to worry about AK-47s. Is that what you're doing over there, Patel? But obviously this thing is just like ridiculous, right? Trump wants his golden fleet. Patel wants his caravan of BMW X5s, designed for Walking Dead, a thing. Or maybe Patel's reading the news today, because this is actually in our news right now also today. Russian general killed by car bomb in Moscow, say investigators. And I think this is like the third one this year. Our news is bonkers. And then you got this, okay? Trump, he tweeted out today that I guess he's sending the governor of Louisiana to go take Greenland. It's basically what it is. Greenland and Denmark are like, screw you. And then now we're doing this because I guess we want to shake up the world. I deleted a previous list of ambassadors I was told were being recalled because I was told by State Department officials that it was not accurate. The Associated Press is reporting, quote, nearly 30 career diplomats are being recalled. The State Department has not released an official list, and the State Department press office declined to comment. And so, I'm looking at these headlines, and essentially, there's this chaos. So the AP is reporting we're removing 30 career diplomats from ambassador posts. So I guess we're pulling back our diplomats. We're reshuffling our appearance abroad, or the people that we do to negotiate with other people. It's like, it's bonkers. And then someone even reporting on it is like, I don't even know what the list is anymore. No one knows. This is the Trump organization. It's a house of cards. And I think people are going to ultimately walk out on this thing and I showed you the guy say, the first guy, Alex, was like, hey, it's all a bunch of pride, greed individuals. More, you got this. It's all today. Today's like the most chaotic day I think we've had in a while. U.S. halts offshore wind licenses over national security concerns. And we're talking about basically wind turbines. And if you guys don't know, I was in Jeju recently here in Korea. I made videos of these things. These turbine things are like really cool. It's like futuristic kind of stuff. And I think we're building like 5 of these projects. That a lot of these are almost complete, maybe 60, 70% complete kind of stuff. There are people in New England. This really hits really hard. Their energy costs are absolutely through the roof, and they need more power generation. And on top of that, we're in like an era to where, all these AI data centers and crypto stuff are eating up your power. And so we just need more power as a whole. And so why are we canceling said things? This is coming from one of Trump's people, Secretary Doug Burgum. This is what he says. He says, due to national security concerns, identified by the Department of War, Interior is pausing leases for 5 expensive, unreliable, heavily subsidized offshore wind farms, blah, 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 right? And here's the thing. Basically what it boils down to is Trump represents oil companies and such, right? So he wants to do with that. And these things have already been, gone through the inspections and gone through, all the vetting, et cetera, and they were approved. And that's why they're building said things that are almost done. Like, you have all this sunken cost in it. Just finish the dang things and get it producing the power that we need, because we're going to be running short on power. And it's going to be a big issue as Trump is also pushing all this AI stuff. Like, everything is absolutely bonkers. And then this is a Senator Blumenthal's like, yo, what are you doing? He says, Trump canceling Revolution Wind again is absolutely nuts, cruel, and stupid. It's like, that's how he described the Trump people. It's really cruel and stupid, right? It will skyrocket electricity costs, put thousands out of jobs, waste millions already invested in the wind farm, nearly 90% complete. And he must be talking about a particular one. I just know that a lot of these things are mostly complete. And then you got this, and this is part of the world that we're in right now. Alphabet to buy data center partner Intersect for $4.7 billion. There's going to be more and more need for power, and Trump is shutting down our power stuff, wanting to build, golden fleets, etc. And then you got Patel wanting to get his armored BMWs. And then you also have this. There's a lot of news today. It's bonkers. Teal-backed bank set to double valuation to $4.35 billion, and they want to have some crypto bank or whatever, right? It's all a scam. And I know we went through a lot in this particular episode, but I just want to show you how chaotic it is. And when you say get a bunch of Peter Thiels in the room, or a bunch of JD Vances or Elon Musks or whatever, these people aren't going to share. They're not. All this stuff is built on lies. And then ultimately you wake up one day like the Alex guy, which I showed you, and it's like, oh my God, is this where we are right now? Like I thought we were doing one thing. I believed in X, but ultimately you're going to discover that someone's a liar. And you have to wake up and be like, I don't want to be in bed with these people anymore. And I think eventually this thing is going to just absolutely collapse and everyone's going to get out and they're going to write a book and they're going to pretend like they are on the right side of history. But I'll just tell you, if you're part of the Trump people right now and you care about the country, you care about the nation, you care about your family, you just care, get out now. I'm telling you guys, you do not want to be part of any of this Trumper stuff. It's absolutely a sinking ship. So that's my thoughts on this. I'd like to hear yours, and I'll catch you on the next video.